It's volleyball season on WLA TV. Glad to have you along this Thursday evening. Jordan King with you from the campus of Winnebago Lutheran Academy. And it's the second Flyway Conference game for the WLA Vikings, and they host the Mayville Cardinals. Mayville comes in to this season 4-3 on the year, that according to WisSports.net and the fine folks over there. Four-game winning streak to start off the season. Palmyra Eagles, CWC, Central Wisconsin Christian, that is, Bondwell, and then Waukesha North. And then that was the first game of a tournament down in Hartford. That second game was against Hartford, lost 2-0 to the much bigger Hartford school. And then two-match losing streak, 3-0 swept to Laconia, at Laconia. Obviously tough place to go play, one of the teams that they would consider to be the favorites in the Flyway Conference this season, and then got swept just the other night on Tuesday at Kewaskum, another bigger school. That's Mayville's record so far. 4-3 on the season, 0-1 in Flyway play. For the Vikings, they're 5-1 on the year, lost their first match down at a tournament down in Reedsville, and since then have rattled off 5 straight, beating Roncalli, 2-1 win over Shiocton, 2-1 win over Almond Bancroft, and then sweeps of Omro and Berlin, both of those on the road. Actually, incidentally, for these Vikings, only 4 home matches this season, so not much action to catch here on WLA TV, but we'll be along the entire way. 5-1 on the season for the Vikings, 4-3 for the Cardinals, as we get our volleyball season underway here on WLA TV. Coming up tomorrow night, just want to mention this for those of you that are tuning in nice and early and scheduling tomorrow night's entertainment. We will have the WLA Mayville game tomorrow night for the football game. I won't be along for that one, but we will still provide the stream, certainly, between the Cardinals and the Vikings in what should be a very good one. Matchup between 3-0 undefeated teams thus far into the season, trying to keep their perfect records unblemished as they continue on with their seasons. We're going to hand it over to the WLA band and Pastor Yaki on the mic for tonight's introductions and anthem. That's coming up next. Stay with us on WLA TV.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's Flyway Conference matchup between the Mayville Cardinals and your Winnebago Lutheran Academy Vikings. To honor America and those defending our freedom, we ask those who are able to stand, remove your hats and place your hand over your heart for the playing of our national anthem, performed by the WLA Pep Band under the direction of Mrs. Abby Firth. The WIAA requires good sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and spectators at education-based interscholastic events. We request your cooperation by supporting the participants and officials in a positive manner. Profanity, racial, sexist, or ethnic comments, or other intimidating or taunting actions or chants will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal from the cited competition. Please enjoy the game in a positive manner. And now the starting lineups for tonight's game. First of all, for the Cardinals, a senior number 3, Tyra Key. Junior number 5, Emily Hansen. Senior number 7, Viviana Smelser. Senior number 12, Marissa Adamavich. Senior number 16, Kaylee Auman. And senior number 20, Kaylee Noah. And now the starting lineup for your WA Vikings. Junior number 4, Avery Superman. Junior number 10, Malena Din. Senior number 11, Amber Johnson. Junior number 12, Lindsay Now. The senior number 13, Siri Kuski. And the junior number 20, Abby Cole. Referees for tonight's game are Jim Teets and Ken Rickert. Line judges are Greg Eber and Lee Eber.
There you go, starting lineups for both of those teams. If you missed them, we will start with Mayville. Number 3 is Kyra Keen, 5, Emily Hansen. The libero is Haley Musak, not introduced, but libero for the Cards tonight. Viviana Smeltzer is number 7. Number 12 is Marissa Adamovich, or Adamovich. Did not get pronunciation on that one. We'll go with Adamovich. And then 16, Kaylee Auman, and 20, Kaylee Nowak. For the Vikings, 5-1 on the season. Avery Supernand is a junior, number 4. Melina Din's another junior. She's been on varsity ever since her freshman year, that alternate fall 2020-2021 season. Amber Johnson, a senior outside hitter for the Vikings, also one of their defensive specialists. Lindsay Nell is the middle for the Vikes. Siri Kuski is going to do the setting as the starter. The backup for her is Sam Unger, a freshman. We'll see her later on tonight. Number 20 is Abby Cole. She starts for the Vikings as well. The libero is Kira Shea. Shea finally a senior, and I'm sure the Flyway Conference is excited about that as we get going, and Shea is the first to get a dig for the Vikes, and it's going to be a free one here for Mayville. Dug up there by Musak, and the swirly swing on the far side. That's Nowak. And an early kill for her. Early lead for Mayville. Turn down the crowd noise just a touch for you. Aumann is the server here early, and there's a first service ace for Mayville, and it's knotted up here at 1. So Kuski, as she was a season ago, will lead things off in terms of the service line for the Vikings, and she'll do the setting for them in this first set, in this first rotation, I should say, as well, when she's along the back. They're going to say that was a double hit, and the Vikes pick up their first point on the offensive side of things, although didn't even need a swing to get there, as a couple of errors give the Vikes a 2-1 lead early in this first set. Kuski looking for the same spot, and this one hits the top of the tape and down, so a couple of service errors apiece. Inaugural season for Coach Emily Krause for the Vikings. Coach Recker, Jamie Recker, was the head of this program, as there's a first service ace, this one from Adamovich. And the first ace for the Cardinals, along with their one service error. And she'll head back with a 3-2 lead. But here is Kuski, middle, off the block it looked like, and it's out of bounds. Certainly looked off the block, but went over the block from Nell. No complaints there, so it's 4-2. We'll get back to Coach Recker, who's in the building tonight. I'm sure he wants to watch this group, which should, there's a gift there from the Cardinals. Musak not able to get there as Shea just belting one over, trying to give a free one away. But Coach Recker, former Coach Recker in the building, wants to see this team through, I'm sure. A lot of talent on this team for the Vikings. That's into the net. Early swing for Keene, and it's tied back up at 4. 2 points. 2 straight points for the Cardinals, or for the Vikings, in response to 2 from the Cards. Here's a good one from Amber Johnson. Back set, swing for Nowak. Dug out well by Shea to Kuski. Here is the first swing for Dins off the block, and her first kill of the night. And the Vikes' first lead of the night as well. They lead at 5-4. Milena Dins is probably the most talented player on this Vikings team, which boasts a lot of talent. That's saying something, I guess, is what I'm trying to say here. And one of the Mayville players was across the line there underneath the net, so another point to the Vikings. They lead at 6-4. So, you know, not to pick favorites, there's an ace for Amber Johnson, and she has a nice run going here for the Vikings. It's a 4-0 run with her on the serve. But a lot of talent on this team, and Dins is one of the best, certainly. Here's another swing for Nowak into the block and down, but on the Vikings side. It was Nell who got there, but the second kill of the night for Kaylee Nowak cuts the lead for the Vikings back down to 2. Flyway should, you'd expect it to come down to Springs and Laconia this year. Campbell Sport and WLA trying to say something about that. There's another kill for Dins. She's off to a hot start. 2 for 2 for Milena Dins as Abby Cole checks in. And Kiera Shea, the libero, takes a seat. Nell will serve, and then I would expect her to come straight back out. There's an ace for the Vikings. Second ace of the night. First for Lindsay Nell. Then I would expect Nell to take a seat in exchange for Kiera Shea once again after Nell is done serving. Here's Johnson. Kuski, back set. Supernan, Avery Supernan's first opportunity here, returning from an injury in the offseason and ready to start her junior campaign. Tip from Dins, well dealt with by Mayville. A free ball coming for the Vikes. Dug up by Nell. Kuski, just tries to set it over. Good response from Supernan to be on her toes, and it's going to be Dins off the block and out. Another kill for Milena Dins, and she is on fire here in this first set. The Vikes have the Cards doubled up. You know, talking to actually former Coach Recker, I'll just call him Coach Recker. How does that sound? He's still the wrestling coach here at WLA. That one goes deep from Nell, second service error for the Vikings. Talking to Coach Recker, he talked to some of the players, and they thought that if they played that first match again that they lost at the Reedsville tournament, that they might, obviously first game jitters. You have a freshman on the team. You got a sophomore as well, Brooklyn Din's up, Milena Din's sister. So, and then obviously the rest of the crew, which does have a lot of experience, but they're still, facing the live bullets, as they say, is different than practice. Here's Abby Cole, her first kill as she comes in as the second middle for the Vikings, and Supernan's going to take a seat here as Sam Unger comes into the match, pardon me. Unger is the leading statistical server for the Vikings, who, again, going back to what I was finishing up, the pace of this one has been rampant. But the Vikings feel like they could have easily won that first match and be undefeated to this point in the season. So there's a lot of momentum for them. Another center court violation there by the Cardinals, and the Vikings once again have Mayville doubled up, this time 12-6. Unger hit that one a little long, and the third service error of the night for the Vikings. 12-7 on the scoreboard. Got the huddle camera working this year. Knock on everything, that's wood, that it'll work all volleyball season and then still work for us in the basketball season. Another good tip from Abby Cole. And first assist of the night for Unger there. Just sets that one short. Tipped up and over by Cole and found a soft spot in the middle of that Mayville defense. 13-7 for the Vikes. Din's back to the service line. Always has a lot of power on the serve. The question is can she control it in bounds? That's kind of the question. Is Mayville able to return that one? And Unger mishit it. 13-8. Vikes still lead it by 5. But if Dins can get that in play, her serve all of a sudden, it becomes a very difficult entire rotation for the Vikings as Cole tips another one. That's the third kill for Abby Cole tonight. So 3 for Dins, 3 for Cole. They have 6 of the 14 for the Vikings, and then you throw in a rough start defensive, just a rough start on both ends for Mayville, some of the errors they've had. By the way, all of this is unofficial because, I'm not a volleyball expert. That's a good swing. Don't need to be an expert to see that swing from number 7, Viviana Smeltzer, is a good one. Her first kill, and a couple subs incoming for the Cardinals. Aumann will go back to serve for her second opportunity. Led off this game with a 1-0 lead, did the Cardinals, behind Aumann's serve. She's back out there now with a 5-point hole that she's trying to chip into. Received by Dins. Here's Unger, looks far side. Tipped by Johnson, just over the net. Thought that might stay on the Vikings side. Couple of Mayville Cardinals colliding into each other, and I think that threw the Vikings out of sync a little bit. Kuski looks back at Shea. Shea looks at someone else. A little bit mistimed after that collision by the Cardinals. That's a short one. Diving is Dins, up by Unger. Swing for Johnson. Dug out well. Aumann sets back. That's pounded down by Nowak, it was. Blocked Kuski. Back set. Kuski gets a swing. That's something we didn't see last year. Siri Kuski with a kill. Kuski usually went to the bench last year, and Avery Supernan stayed in and played all the way around for the Vikings. Supernan, speaking of her, she'll come in for Unger here. And this time, Kuski plays all the way around. First time getting to see the Vikings in person here tonight. Watched a little bit of that Berlin match earlier this week. 3-0 win at Berlin. Aumann looks to the near side. That was Nowak with another swing. Dug up by Dins. Kuski back to Supernan. That's up and out. A little bit deep from Avery Supernan, as she has yet to record a kill this evening. playing on that right side for the Vikings. Dins with another one. Looks far side this time. Kuski finds Supernand off the block and dug up. Nell goes up for the block. Nowak with another swing. Dug up by Dins. Kuski back over far side. Johnson this time into the tape. They're going to say it was blocked, so the Vikes get another chance. Supernand looks far side too much. And a nice little run being put on by the Cardinals here, and it's just a 3-point deficit. Adamovich is serving still here. Third straight serve for her. Sprawling out is Shea. Kuski looks far side. Supernand with yet another swing. Dug up well by Adamovich. Set up. No, that was a heck of a swing on the near side. That was Keen this time, and she made no mistake about that one. Drilled it straight at Din. She couldn't do anything about it. And Cards are back within a pair. Terrific run here. A lead that was at 1.6 for the Vikings. Johnson miscue there, and the Cards are back within 1. So Coach Krause going to take a timeout and talk things over with her crew that has now seen what was a 6-point lead, then a 5-point lead, and then traded 4 and 5 back and forth for a couple of points. And now a little run that Mayville has gone on, most of it with Adamovich back there at the service line for the Cardinals. As I mentioned, tomorrow the Cardinals football team, ranked number 2 in the state in Division 5, led by the big trio of Addison Middlestat, Bradley Bushke. Well, if you're watching this, you probably know who they're led by. You're either a WLA Vikings fan or you're a Mayville Cardinal fan, and you probably know the big three, Bushke and Blake Schroffnagel, Addison Middlestat. Kind of the big three for basketball, too. Coach Jans and that crew last season. Middlestat was one of the best players in the Flyway. Of course, the Flyway Conference Player of the Year was Ethan Cole here from Winnebago Lutheran. But that should be a good one tomorrow. Schroffnagel ran for 230 or so last week, 5 touchdowns. There are some good runners of the football in the Flyway Conference. Good volleyball, too, by the way. Here's a nice swing, and that's in from Lindsay Nell down just went cross court there and found it. First kill for Nell. That was hammered down on the attack. 16-14, and the Vikes needed that. Can Johnson go on a little bit of a serving streak? She's one of the better servers for the Vikings. Like I said, you don't get many free ones. There's a block from Dins straight down, and 2 straight for the Vikings to try to win some of this momentum back. And Johnson will head back to the service line. But, you know, Johnson and Kuski, and here's Shea. Supernand high on this one. Was it tipped? They're going to say yes. The near side line judge says it was tipped, and Supernand gets one to go. So first kill for Avery Supernand off the block and deep. She needed something to go her way. Here's Johnson once again. Far side, Nowak on the swing. Dug up by a couple of different Cardinals. And Musak, the libero, couldn't keep her pass in. Kind of got on her quickly. And a quick timeout on the other side from Coach Persha of the Mayville Cardinals. 19-14. And yeah, the first season here for Coach Krause and the Vikings. And man, can't think of a ton more you'd like to walk into in terms of talent of a program. Din's in her 3rd year on varsity. Nell with her 2nd year on varsity. Supernand, Cole, 2nd years on varsity. 3 years on varsity for Amber Johnson as well, I believe. So you got a lot of experience here on this particular team. And can you put it all together? And so far, Coach Krause and Coach Kara Werner as well. Both of them in their first season, they have put it together to the tune of a 5-1 start. And a good start to this one. They lead it back by 5 after seeing their lead dwindle to as few as 1. They've pushed it back out with a 4-0 run. Here's a tip, blocked by Nell, down, and another block for the Vikings. That's 2 this set, 1 by Dins, 1 by Nell. And the Vikings have a 6-point lead, tied for their largest in this first set, and they're just 5 points away from closing this first set out. Good start for the Vikes. Here's Johnson. Near side, oh, another good swing. Dug up by Shea, kept alive by Dins, and somehow the Vikings got it back across. Back set, Nowak, no. That was Smeltzer, and Dins is gonna get another chance, tips it over. Free ball coming for the Vikings, who try to get back into some sort of rhythm. Nell off the block and down. Lindsay Nell with her 3rd kill of the first set, and the Viking lead out to its biggest here tonight, 7-point lead. How about this from Amber Johnson? It was 15-14 when she started serving. I guess it was 16-14 after they won the point. So 5 straight, and they're gonna mop up the floor here. Got it. So 7-point lead for the Vikes. If they able to get a win here, they'll move to 6-1 on the season, stay perfect in the Flyway. I think they got a couple of games before they head to Laconia. I believe it's at Laconia, if I got my schedule right. That one was wide from, I believe it was Dins there, who was sprawled out, tried to find a soft spot. Might have been Johnson on that far side. 21-15. Mayville's got to go on a little bit of a run. Shea, Dins from the back behind the line, the 10-foot line, goes off of the hoop, and a point for the Vikings. So Dins with a good swing, just get it in play. Make the other team play defense. That's what she did. Abby Cole in. Shea gets to take a seat, as temporary as that might be. Remember a couple times last year, Nell not able to get a serve in. Blocked by Cole, and down for the Vikings. Another point for them, 23-15, 8-point lead. Remember a couple times last year, the Vikings had the same substitution. Cole would come in, Shea as the libero would go out, and then would come back in when Nell was done serving. A couple of times Nell, there's a good swing from Nowak. A couple times last year, Nell would go deep on a serve, and Shea would barely sit down. Sometimes she didn't sit down. She went and grabbed the water bottle, and then there was a groan in the crowd, and she wouldn't even take a swig of water. She just dropped the water bottle back out onto the floor, back to work, as it were. So far tonight, she's at least got to take a seat and swig of water. A little bit better. Johnson serve return here for the Vikings. Far side, Kuski looks for Dins. Overpass. Shea's the first one there. Kuski back set, and they're going to say it was out off of the overpass, hit a wire, and that's out of bounds. So a point back to the Vikings, 24-16, and we have match point. Set point, pardon me. Sam Unger, a freshman for the Vikings, onto the floor trying to finish things out from the service line. As I mentioned earlier, statistically the best server through the first 6 matches for the Vikings. And she trots forward, jumps, and fires one away. There's an ace for the Vikings, and the first set is 25-16 to the Vikes. Good start for them in their second Flyway match. We're going to step aside. When we come back, we will have second set action. You're watching on WLA TV. Stay with us. step in here during halftime, or halftime. I'm ready for basketball season, man. You can tell. But at the end of the first set, call it the first intermission. How does that sound? The officially unofficial statistics of the first set for the Vikings: 1 kill for Avery Supernan. Milena Dins led the Vikings with 5 kills in that first set. Again, I'm usually on the high side of kills, so probably can subtract 1 or 2 off of most of these. And, you know, I just think we should be more optimistic with our scoring. You know, that's all I'm trying to say. Lindsay now with 3 kills. Siri Kuski had a kill. 3 for Abby Cole for the Vikings. They had 3 service errors and 3 service aces, did the Vikings. Sam Unger had 1, Amber Johnson with 1, and Lindsay Nell with 1 service ace for the Vikes. As they come back out here, leader, should say, for the Cardinals, Kaylee Nowak had 3 kills in that first set. Kind of interesting, both of these teams wearing the whites. In the past, the Vikings always wore their blue at home, but got the white uniforms, and Kiara Shea, the libero, has the blue with white letters and number, white trim. Mayville in there, normally what you would consider to be road whites, and then their libero, Haley Musak, has the burgundy cardinal color. Off the block for the Vikings, off of Supernan, and this one is down for an early lead. That was, once again, Nowak. Number 4 on the night by my count, and an early 1-0 lead here in the second set. As it was in the first set, overpass from the Vikings. Can the Cardinals make WLA pay? Here is Kuski, looks near side. Amber Johnson tips over the block, and it's down. Amber Johnson, her first kill of the night. She's had several impressive swings, and then, of course, that 6-0 run when she was at the service line was a big deal in that first set for the Vikings to come out on top. That's where she is right now. Another good one dug up by the Cardinals, and a tip over the block, and Dins can't dive and get there. That was a nice play by Keene. We've seen Kyra Keene, who is the tallest player perhaps on the floor, but tallest one for Mayville certainly. She's had a couple of really nice swings, and that time Viking block probably had it covered. She smartly tips it over the top. 2-1 lead for the Cardinals. Back set from Kuski, looks to Nell. Nell with a vicious swing, and Vikings back into a little bit more normalcy. And, Avery Supernan able to tip that somehow in. And that is a nice play by Avery Supernan. That was another one where it was just kind of on Avery before she knew anything about it, and just kind of self-defense looking play. Here is Nell. That's a good one on the near side. Dug up well by Hansen. Check that, Musak, and that's into the net from Keene. So first lead of the second set for the Vikings. See if they can continue on as Nell trots forward. Oh, that's another good one. Almost an overpass, blocked by Cole into the net from Nowak, and it's a 4-2 lead for the Vikings. Cole did a nice job getting up early there and just got something on the ball, forcing Mayville into the error. This one's a little bit more manageable for the Cardinals. Back set, Nowak, cross court, out. So another point for the Vikings, as this is 4 straight points, 3 points off of the serve of Lindsay Nell. That looked good for Nowak. That had to be just out. Obviously, the referees have a much better view than we do up here, sitting in the mezzanine area. Near side, this is Dins, off the block and down. When Milena Dins hits a volleyball, I said this last year a couple of times, when she hits a volleyball, it stays hit. 6-2 lead for the Vikings. Now, another decent serve, far side. This is Keene, off the block and down. A good swing there from Kyra Keene, her second kill of the first set. And I think the Cards would be smart to keep going back to their senior Kyra Keene. A lot of at least grade experience here. What I mean by that, a lot of seniors. And then just the 5 juniors on this team for Mayville. No sophomores, no freshmen. On the JV1 match, WLA won it 25-23, 17-25, 25-22, so won it in 3 on JV1 over the Cardinals. But the Cards had won the JV2 match. Really very productive. There's Abby Cole with her 4th kill of the night. Cole's had a very nice night. Talk about Nell and Cole, the 2 middles for the Vikings. 7 kills combined. A couple of blocks as well. But there's talent in this Cardinal program, certainly. Saw that on the JV sides of things. Superdan takes a seat. Sam Unger into the match, and she fires one away. Dug up by Musak. Can the Cards keep it alive? They cannot. Good hustle by Keene and Schabel. Hayden Schabel is into the game. There's a familiar name for the Cardinals on the basketball front, Hayden Schabel. Also a incredible softball player is Schabel. There's an ace for Sam Unger. 9-3, the Vikings have really extended out their lead. Remember doing PA for that Mayville WLA softball game last year, and Schabel killed the Vikings last year. That was into the net, so 4 service aces, 4 service errors for the Vikings so far tonight. 9-4 on the scoreboard. And it's Keene back to serve for the Cardinals. Near side, here is Shea. Shea doesn't get many swings, but that was a good one from the libero in the back row. And it's a 6-point Viking lead. Now that I think about it, I don't know if Schabel plays. I don't want to misspeak. Maybe it is just softball I'm thinking of with Hayden Schabel. Not sure if she applies her trade on the basketball court. There's another ace for the Vikings. That was from Melena Dins. Dins' first ace of the night, joining Nell, Johnson, and Unger with aces. 11-4. Dins. That last one did not spin, just knuckled the whole way across. Here's a free one coming for the Vikings. Dug up by Shea. Unger back set, looks for Kuski. Kuski off the block, and dug up by Musak. Chance here for the Cardinals to get it across, and Unger does a good job to stay on her own side. Tipped across by Cole. Near side Marks has to tip it over. Unger, Vikings back in transition. Kuski dug up by Musak. Marks with another swing, this into the net. And the Vikings lead it 12-4. That's going to draw another timeout from Mayville. Coach Persha taking the time, and the Vikings have raced out to another lead here in the second set. This one a little bit bigger than it was in the first set. It was at one point 15-14 in that first set. The Vikings end up winning at 25-16. So dominant at the end of that first set for the Vikes. This set get out to a better start, 12-4 lead, but in that first set, the Vikings also let a 6-point lead slip down to 1. They never lost it, but were anything but in control up until that 15-point mark. Mayville went on a run, and then the Vikings able to respond with that dominant finish to the first set, mostly behind the right service arm of Amber Johnson. So out of the timeout, Dins will pick up the volleyball and get ready to serve once again. 12-4 lead. She's got a couple straight for the Vikings. And she'll get the play back going. Another knuckleball over the top. Set backwards. Has to be tipped by Mayville. Nice job by Johnson. Shea's going to try to get it to Cole. Cole just has to put one over. Free chance here for the Cardinals. Tipped, blocked down by Abby Cole. Was that 4? Certainly looked like 4. Went off of a Mayville Cardinal player's back. There you go. There's the delayed call, but it was coming. And the Vikings get another one, 13-4. It was tipped down from Cole. hit by one Cardinal, hit by a second Cardinal. It went off of her teammate's back, and then that next hit would have been the fourth touch. Here's Marks. A couple of Vikings run into each other. Kuski gets a swing at it. Dug up. Musak's going to look near side for Marks once again, who pops one over the net. Unger, Shea, Kuski. Dug up once again by Musak. Nice play. That was Schabel over the net. Near side Johnson. And Johnson was into the net, or 4, so it did not hit the tape. Did not hit the block. So 4 hits for the Vikings. And an 8-point lead will put it back over to Musak. Oh, that's a tough set from Unger, and had Cole, I don't know if it caught Cole off guard, but she was off balance, that's for sure. The Vikings able to scramble that one across. Schabel goes back to Marks. Marks swings at it. Unger, Kuski, Johnson. Oh, what a spot. Amber Johnson over everybody and just picked out a spot on that far right corner as she saw it. And perfect touch over a couple of different players from Mayville, and it's a 9-point Viking lead. Shea's going to serve one over here. Here's a chance. Oh, that was terrific in transition. Smeltzer pounds that one to the floor. 14-6. Terrific play there from the Cardinals on that particular set. Johnson into the block, tipped back up by Johnson. Dins looks far side for Kuski, who gets to give a free one back to the Cardinals. Back set, Nowak, tipped by Unger. Looks a little ugly, but the Vikings are doing enough to keep it up. That goes off of Unger's, I don't know, can't tell if that hit her upper arms or might even hit her in the face, but again, the Vikings doing enough to keep it going. Can Nell get to that one? She does, stays on her own side. Tipped across, and there's 4. The Vikings, that is a gritty point there for WLA. And that is one you hate to lose if you're the Cardinals. Certainly had a couple of opportunities. Alman, a couple of nice sets there. Avery Supernan back in for Sam Unger, and Siri Kuski will serve again for the Vikings with the 9-point lead. But oh my goodness, the Vikings did not get a single real swing at that. Just a bunch of tips and passes across the net. Here's another one from Smeltzer. This one's long, no touch. And a point for the Vikings, lead it by 10. She couldn't believe it. I think she thought that was a good swing. She got her hand on top of the ball enough to earn herself and her team a point, but it wasn't the case. Here's another service ace, that right in front of me. And Siri Kuski with her first ace of the night. And the 6th of the night for the Vikings. Kuski, Nell, Johnson, Dins, and Unger with 2. Those the service aces. The Vikes have 2 more aces than they do errors from the service line, at least by my count. Here's a back set from Alman looking for Adamovich. Nice sprawling dig from Kiera Shea. The swing on the near side was Johnson. That pushed across. Oh, that was a good spot. Can the Vikings stay with it? Shea's got to get it across. That's a nice job to scramble it across for the Vikings. And Musak able to save it, but not enough for Mayville. Another just gritty point by the Vikings. Another timeout. That's the second one of the set from Coach Persha. And it's a 12-point lead for the Vikings. And they're looking to put Mayville away early in this second set. Lead at 18-6. That was a tremendous play by the Vikings just to stay with it, with Kuski into the net. Able to play it back, and then Shea with, obviously she knew what she had to do. That's not the impressive part, but normally those just end up being free balls, and maybe I'm making too much out of this, and that's all Shea was trying to do. But if she was intending to kind of aim deep like she did. That was a good spot there for Kiera Shea. So 18-6. It'll be Kuski to continue serving. She is the top option. At least she's the first to serve each match for the Vikings. This is a good one. Aumann tries to tip it over. Shea able to get there. Back set to Supernand into the tape, off the block and down. And Avery Supernand really probably, well, Johnson really hasn't gotten going offensively either. But the Vikings got a couple of hitters. There's a error there on the Cardinals side of things. But Supernand really has not hit her stride, and when she does, look out. Here's Johnson once again. Nell goes up for it, dug up by Supernand, tipped over by Kuski. She had both of her attackers in front of her. That was deep, and no touch. All 5 Mayville players think there was a touch there, and now the line judge does agree, so it'll be a point to Mayville. After conversation, a little discussion. And back to service, Smeltzer. That one, Kuski has to set up with a pass. The underhand set, and Dins made no mistake with that one. Cross court, and she hammered it to the gym floor. 20-8. Here is Nell, and off the block there. How about another one for Abby Cole? Cole's had herself a nice night. Replacing Nell in the middle. Nell back serving right now. She trots forward, gets a good one. Here's Aumann looking to the far side. Tipped over the block. That's another nice, smart play by Keene. Her 4th kill of the night. 3rd of this set, as she's really gotten going here in the second. She's got 3 of the 9 for Mayville. Vikings still have a 12-point lead. Kind of gone back and forth ever since they built this 12-point lead. And an opportunity to close the second set out in some style. Here is Schabel, who fires one across. Shea able to get there. Kuski looks to Cole. Cole continues her splendid night with another swing. Got her for 5 kills and a block so far. Or 2 blocks, sorry. Cole's got a couple of fingers taped out there too, so. But has been plenty good for the Vikings. Unger back in, she'll serve. 13-point lead for the Vikings, 22-9. Can any of the Vikes get there? They cannot. Tipped over, and I believe that was Marks who was able to collect the point for Mayville. If that was indeed Eden Marks, that was her first point. Here is Unger. Unger's middle set tipped by, guess who? Abby Cole. 23-10. And the Vikings creep closer to a second set win and a commanding 2-0 lead in this match. They got a lot of room to play with here too. Here's Johnson near side, tipped down and on the Mayville side, so it was into the block, but Johnson gets her 3rd kill of the night. 24-10, and we have match point. So one of the next 15 has to go to the Vikings, and they will move 2-0 in this match. That's into the net from Adamovich, and there you go, 25-10, a dominant performance in the second set by the Vikings. We're going to take a timeout, step aside, come back with the 3rd set. Vikings have a chance to close it out with yet another sweep. If they can continue the way they've played in the first 2 sets, I wouldn't bet against them coming up next. You're watching WLA Volleyball on WLA TV. Stay with us. Back here, campus of Winnebago Lutheran Academy, just about ready for the third set between the Vikings and the Cardinals. Avery Supernan with a couple of kills. Dins leads the Vikings with 7, although I got Cole with 6. Creeping up there. Amber Johnson 3, Nell 3, couple for Kuski. Check that, just 1 for Kuski, 1 for Kiera Shea as well, the libero. 4 for Kaylee Nowak, 4 for Kyra Keene. Those the leaders that I have for Mayville. Service aces, 6 aces to 4 errors is what I got for the Vikings. Those 6, 2 of them coming from Sam Unger. 1 from Kuski, 1 from Nell, 1 for Johnson, and 1 for Melena Dins. 25-16, if you're just joining us, 25-16 in the first set, 25-10 in a dominating second set for the Vikings. This one's short. Kiera Shea able to get there. Kuski just tipped it over. That was a smart play by Siri Kuski. Lobbed over the net. Here is Kuski. Looks far side. Johnson able to get that one across. Kind of paintbrushed that one, so to speak. Here's Johnson once again from Kuski. That's down off the tape, and Johnson's 4th kill of the night is the first point of the third and potentially final set for the Vikings as they lead at 1-0, 2-0, 2 sets to nothing. And Kuski will get things rolling for the Vikes. She trots forward, that's into the net. And service error number 5 for the Vikings. Not all good, not all perfect for the Vikings. Still plenty to work on, but this has been so far a very good performance for WLA. Addie Youngbeck in as Aaron Bednarik takes a seat, and Youngbeck with the serve. Here is Nell, and Nell got ahead of steam. I'll tell you what, the Vikings, and a lot of this should just come with confidence, I would imagine. We're talking about a lot of these players, multiple seasons on varsity. I got to believe you start to get confident with Well, that, and, you're on a winning streak. That's a good tip from Smeltzer, her third kill of the night. And it's tied back up at 2. But just a lot more confidence in the swings of the Vikings so far tonight based on thinking back to last season. Here is Smeltzer, and that's an ace. That is just the second ace, I believe, by my count for Mayville. Had a few more errors than that, that's for sure. But obviously when you're swinging and the ball is in play, you start to get, that confidence just kind of breeds itself, certainly. Kuski gives a free one back to the Cardinals. Near side, this is a good swing down the line. And Keene. Kuski was very adamant there was no touch there. I'll tell you what, Siri Kuski usually does not get very animated about anything. And she's laughing about it, but she thought there was no touch there. Pretty late call. And Johnson not able to handle that serve. So a couple of service aces here by number 7, Viviana Smeltzer. And a lead early on here for the Cardinals, 5-2. And she'll keep it rolling here, or see if she can keep it rolling. Free one coming. Shea gets it across. Here is Nowak, swing there, and a touch again. So another touch by the Vikings. Actually, they're going to say Nell was into the net too, so take your pick. Nell into the net, and there was a touch. Can the Vikings regroup without the necessity to take a timeout? And I think this is a good opportunity here for Coach Krause to see, can my team, are they able to respond without the need to take that timeout? We'll see. Here's a free one coming. Can the Vikes take advantage of it? Shea, Kuski, Supernand off the block, up in the air. That was well blocked by the Cardinals, and another free one coming for the Vikes. Johnson deals with it. Kuski looks far side, Dins off of the top of the block, and she has her 8th kill of the night. Milena Dins back to work for the Vikings. Shea takes a seat. Abby Cole back into the game, or into the match, sorry. Cole's had a terrific night. Alman looks to the near side. That is somehow dug up. That was a great swing. Oh, and then a miscommunication between Kuski and Dins. That should have been Kuski's, and she knows that. Shea back in for Cole. That was a terrific swing by Kyra Keene again. Got Keene down for 6 now as she continues to have a nice night. The best offensive night for the Cardinals by some stretch. This is Schabel. Kuski gets out of the way for Dins, who puts it into the net. That was a tough one. Well off the net there. There wasn't really much else Kuski could do as Mayville starts to put a little bit more pressure on the Vikings. 8-3, this is the largest lead in any set for the Cardinals tonight. In fact, I think it was 2 before this. Here is Avery Supernand around the block and down. If that wouldn't have been in, it did take a tip as well, so would have counted either way for Avery, but she finally gets one to go on. That didn't feel, a little fluky. She had a couple go off of blocks earlier, and that one was hammered cross court, and that was down. Here's Unger. That's a great serve from her. Possible free one coming here. Put over by Keene. Unger looks far side. Dins into the net. 9-4. 5-point lead for Mayville. Don't see that very often from Dins. But as any volleyball player, you're not gonna hit 1,000%. Tipped over by Cole. Scramble here for the Cardinals. Can they keep it in? They cannot. And can this be an opportunity for the Vikings to kind of get things turned back around? They trail by just 4, and Milena Dins heading back to the service line. maybe a chance here for them to chip into this lead, start tightening the screws on the Cardinals a little bit. A couple dribbles from Dins, and she soars in the air and hammers one across. Overpass is dealt with by Abby Cole. Cole continues to have one of her best nights, at least going back to last season. And then, like I said, this is my first full match getting to watch the Vikings, but she has been terrific tonight. Best I've seen from her yet. That's a service error, the 6th of the night for the Vikings. So now matching their service aces and service errors total. And the lead restored to 4 for Mayville. Overpass? No. Unger able to get a hand on it. And down from Abby Cole. Cole's got 9 kills now by my count. That is a team high for Abby Cole. Back into the game for the Vikes. Lindsay Nell and Kiara Shea ready to serve it up. That's to Musak. Up. And that's deep. Erin Bednarik with one of her first swings that she's gotten yet tonight. And it was deep for her across that far side. Caught by Coach Krause. And another mistake there in serve receive for Mayville. That's a terrific set from Sam Unger, and Lindsay Nell needed no help dispatching that ball to the far corner. 5-0, or pardon me, five kills for Nell, 10-9 on the scoreboard. That's a good one from Kiara Shea. That's another ace, Shea's first. 7th ace of the night for the Vikings. And she just found a good spot there on that near side corner. 10-10. And the Vikings have erased what was at one point a 6-point deficit. Far side, here's a swing into the block and down on the Viking side. That was number 14, Hannah Wolf. And Wolf, just her first kill of the night by my count. So lead restored to the Cardinals, but a very productive service streak there from Kiara Shea. Erased what was a 4-point deficit when she started serving. Shea gets to this one. Unger. And Kuski has to just lob it over the net. Free one here. Unger, ooh. Unger and Nell kind of uncertain who is going to get that. Unger was the one at the end. And a 2-point lead for the Cardinals with Aumann serving continued. Far side, Johnston off of the block. It was dealt with well by Musak, and then Melena Dins trying to pull her hands and didn't want to touch that one. I think she thought it was going to go out. Hard to tell from our vantage point up here, but looked like it might have. She certainly thought so. She was very animated. And some more housekeeping on that same side of the court there for Mayville. And Kyra Keene wants to, rightfully so, make sure that got the proper grip. Only takes a couple of players diving around to make that a dangerous situation. Unger to the near side, Kuski off the block. Oh, that's a tough one to deal with, and it's dealt with well by Nowak. And a good spot from Bednarik. Tipped from Nell. Near side Bednarik again. And that one looks deep, no touch. Point Vikings, 11-13. And Siri Kuski will serve for the second time in the third set. Supernan back on for Unger. And the Vikes trail by 2 seconds. Service error of this set for Siri Kuski. And the second one that's straight into the net. (14-11). And into the game, Addie Youngbeck for her second chance to serve in this third set. Supernan digs it up. Kuski looks far side. Supernan off the block and down. Maybe a little bit of momentum here for Avery Supernan. That's almost back-to-back for her. She was able to find an attack right before she got subbed out, and now finds one when she's back onto the floor right after getting subbed back in. That's a good spot, but it's out. Thought that was going to fall for Kaylee Nowak. It just hung up and was just past the end line. And Amber Johnson will continue to serve for the Vikings. This one barely over the net. Aumann looks near side, and that's another good one. Johnson digs it out. It's a free one over the overpass. And Mayville not able to take advantage, but now they are. That was Smeltzer who got it across. When Kyra Keene hits it, they stay hit. She's had a very nice couple of sets here, the second set and the third set in particular for the for the Cardinals. And she hammered that one, somehow dug out by Johnson, but it was straight to an overpass. Not that you would criticize Johnson for that. That was unbelievable just to get it up. Milena Dins able to find a corner. 9 kills now for Dins, ties Abby Cole for the team high, and the Vikes once again back within 1. They've rallied all the way back to get this within a point, and now are just kind of going back and forth. That one straight into the back of Avery Supernand. That wouldn't even have hit the bottom of the tape. So Nell will take a seat as Kiera Shea back in defensively for the Vikings. Couple of substitutions on the far side. Schabel back in, and she'll serve right away, as is Hannah Wolf, who's back onto the floor for the Cardinals. 16-14 lead. Schabel will get things rolling once again. Shea digs it up near to the middle. Near side, it was Kuski looking center to Cole, and Cole tried to tip it over. It was short. And a timeout from Coach Krause. We're going to catch our breath here, take the timeout with them. 14-17, Vikings trail. You're listening on WLA-TV. Stay with us. Back here, Jordan King with you, WLA-TV. Glad to have you along this evening. WLA-TV is where you can find tomorrow's Mayville WLA football game. I won't be along for that one, but you'll still be able to find it. We'll have it. Ooh, that might have been out, but it was going to be close, so Mayville decided to play it. Johnson here near side for the Vikings. Here is Supernan into the block and out. And Supernan, big clap there as she was excited for that one, and rightfully so. She needs a couple of those to go. I got her down for 5 kills, though, so what started out a slow night for Avery Supernan on the right side for the Vikings. That was just off. Looked a little mistimed from Unger the whole way. And into the top of the tape and down. 18-15. And Kyra Keene will serve for Mayville. Dug up by Shea. Unger, middle. It was the swing from Cole. Far side, Wolf not able to get it across the net. Wolf had the right idea. She was going to try to go down the line is what it looked like, but just caught too much of it and went into the net. Here's Dins with a chance to get the Vikes closer to being knotted up here. Johnson, far side, Abby Cole, and Cole says, my bad there. She tried to set it to the far side back to Johnson. And I think Coach Krause is probably saying, Sam, be loud there. And Sam Unger was right behind her, the player who's, out on the floor to be setting for the Vikings. 19-16. Here's a middle set tipped over by Abby Cole. Good defensive play by her. And the ball is free back to the Vikings. Far side, Johnson tips over the block. A little bit out in front of her. She couldn't get a good swing on it. Here's Siri Kuski with a block. How about that for Siri? Siri in a role that we haven't seen over the last couple of years with her being on varsity. And that is playing all the way around and having the opportunity to get some swings, play a little defense at the net when Unger's out here, and she's going to do the setting. So here's the back set to Kuski. Kuski on the right side tips it over the block. And a free one here. That was a nice job by Keene. Johnson able to tip it back to the Cardinals. Wolf down the line and off the block, and the Vikes not able to locate it in the air. 3-point lead restored. That is Wolf's second kill of the night. And 20-17. So the Cardinals hoping they can force a third set here with the a fourth set, pardon me, with the Vikings. Now, not to get you worried out there if you're a Vikings fan, as Milena Dins sprawls out onto the floor. Amber Johnson gets it across, and here is Smeltzer. Shea calls it. She's going to just pass it across, and another chance here, this time for Nowak. Tipped up by Dins. Back set from Unger. Oh, from just about an impossible angle. Siri Kuski gets it across. They're going to call a lift. Oh my, Siri Kuski out of nowhere, and it's 18-20. Vikings trail. Anyways, I was going to say, I don't want to worry any Viking fans, but every season so far, I have seen a 3-2 come from behind victory. So I'm not saying that's going to happen here. But don't go away if you're a Mayville fan, and stick around if you're a Vikings fan too. Shea's going to pass it across, dealt with there by Musak. Here's a chance in the middle by, look, tipped. Oh, not tipped. And I thought Smeltzer played it off of the fingertips of Lindsay Nell. That was not the case, and the Vikings are within a point with Siri Kuski at the service line. 2-0 run for the Vikings. Kuski, good spot. And a free one coming for the Vikings. Can they pay it off? Here is Nell, off balance and deep. Nell said there was a touch. There was not. I think that was more of a hopeful ask more than anything else from Lindsay Nell. Nell was bearing down towards the net, and the set was behind her. And so she was off balance and had to kind of tilt backwards, and the ball just went straight in the air. Here's Kuski far side, looks back to Nell in the center, off the block. A couple of one-handed digs and just pushed across by Keene. Far side, Johnson's going to get a swing at it down the line. It's out. And there was a touch, though. Yeah, they had a touch. That did not look at all like a touch. Mayville cannot believe it. They're going to ask the question, will Kyra Keene? And that goes unanswered. As they say, yeah, there was a touch. I'll tell you what, that's the far side of the court, so I really shouldn't be making any judgments, but I did not think there was any way, as I guess that'll go down as a service ace. Coach Persha going to try to settle her girls down over there. I didn't think there was any way at all that was a a touch down the line. The Vikings were pretty adamant about it, and as was Amber Johnson, who hit it. So I guess you kind of have to trust the player there, but you know, it certainly did not look like it took a touch from up here. So after that, perhaps a little bit frazzled, the Cardinals give up a point on the very next serve from Johnson. And now Amber, who was at the service line when the Vikings took control in the first set, she's back there now, dribbling that red, white, and blue volleyball. Each team has one more timeout. Not sure if they'll need it. 21-21. Here's Alman looking to the near side. That's who they want to go to. Dug up by Dins, though. It was Keene who got it over. And Shea, oh, that is a nice pass from Shea. Overpass from Mayville, and it's Dins. Double-digit kills tonight for Milena Dins. 22-21. The first lead in what seems like forever. I think the only lead in this set was 1-0 for the Vikings. Here's Supernan trying to go back-to-back. That looked down. Yeah, that was in. That looked down on the far side. The referee, the umpire at the stand made that call. And another timeout from Coach Persha. It is a run that is 4-0 for the Vikings. It was 21-19, now it's 23-21. And back-to-back two timeouts in the span of 3 or 4 points. I guess that would be in the span of 2 points for Mayville. We'll take 30 seconds and come back, probably finish this match out if the Vikings have anything to say about it. We'll see if Mayville can stay alive. Coming up next, 23-21, and the Vikes lead 2-0. Stay with us. Elsewhere tonight, the Vikings soccer team won 3-0 against Mayville. Seth Schrader a hat trick in that one. Amber Johnson gets us going again here. Overpass. Johnson. Kuski looks to Nell. Perfect set. And Nell hammers it down. 6 kills for Lindsay Nell. And the Vikings have match point. Looking for a sweep of the Cards. No more timeouts for Mayville. They got to play this one out. Johnson, near side, good swing by Keene, dug up by Johnson. Kuski's underneath it, looks far side to Dins, trying to end this thing. She got it down on the far side. That'll do it. I was in the middle of saying Dins was leaning back. It was hard to get that one in. She got it down. So the sweep complete for the Vikings, 25-21. Mayville made them work for it in the final set, but this thing has been taken care of in 3 for the Vikings. 25-16, 25-10, 25-21. The Vikings sweep the Cardinals. So the Vikings moved to 6-1 on the season. They remain undefeated at 2-0 in the Flyway Conference, and will sit atop the Flyway standings come tomorrow, tied with probably a couple of other schools. Mayville, meanwhile, drops to 500, 4-4 on the season. They're 0-2, still looking for their first set to win in the Flyway. They got swept by Laconia on the road. A couple of tough places to start for Mayville. At Laconia, got swept there. At WLA, got swept here tonight. So tough start to the season for Mayville. I think this is a team that, at the very least, will pick up a couple of wins over, the middle of the Flyway type of team is what they seemed here tonight. That second set was a rough one for them, but responded well in the third set 25-21. For the Vikings, obviously, get to some of the statistics, couple of highlights, couple of maybe lowlights for the Vikings too, but 8 service aces would have been a highlight. A lowlight would be the 7 service errors that they had. So again, like I mentioned before, it's not all perfect for the Vikings tonight, but very good. Kyra Keene was the leader for Mayville in terms of offense. She had 7 kills here tonight. Kaylee Nowak with 4, 3 for Smeltzer. And like I said, Mayville had their opportunities, certainly in this final set, to get things done. For the Vikings, Siri Kuski had a kill. Kiera Shea had a kill. Johnson had 4 despite, we'll get to her serving in just a second, but 4 kills for Amber Johnson. A little bit quiet. Struggled in the beginning, did Avery Supernan, but she had 5 kills for the Vikings. 6 for Lindsay Nell. 9 for Abby Cole, and she was instrumental several times defensively with a couple of blocks. And then Milena Dins, as you might expect, she'll lead the Vikings a lot this season in kills. She gets a lot of attempts, but more times than not, she puts the opponent under pressure. It does Milena Dins. She had 11 kills here tonight. An ace apiece for Siri Kuski, Kiera Shea, Lindsay Nell, Amber Johnson, Milena Dins, and 2 aces for Sam Unger. That's how the 8 aces for the Vikings shook out. Jordan King saying so long. Thanks for joining us. 25-16, 25-10, 25-21 were the scores on the sets. The Vikings sweep the Cardinals. I hope you will join us tomorrow night. Mayville comes to town, brings the football team up to Viking Field, and a couple of undefeated teams, 3-0 and 1-0 in Flyway Conference play. The Vikings and the Cardinals going to get after it tomorrow night, and we'll see who prevails. The Vikings bring back a lot of experience in the trenches. Mayville brings back a ton of experience in the form of their skill players, the big 3, Buschke, Middlestat, and Schroffnagel. Will that be enough for the can the Vikings muster up enough in the trenches to be able to deal with the running attack that Schroffnagel and company provide for the Cardinals? All of that should be interesting tomorrow night. Hope you'll join us on WLA TV for that. I won't be along, but the stream will be rocking tomorrow night, so please join us for that. Jordan King saying so long. Thanks for joining us, and hope you will keep your eye out for everything, all WLA sports, right here on WLA TV. Have a good night.